Okay, so systems of equations using elimination. Uh, the elimination method involves solving equations that are in standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals to c, where a, b, and c are constants. Okay, so they're constants. That means they're numbers that we use and they don't change. Okay? As a reminder, the solution to a system of equations, it needs to be in an order pair, x comma y. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We're going to be solving for equations that have that type of solution. Okay, so let's look at the first example. Our first example, we have 4x, negative 4x minus 2y is equals to negative 12. Okay, that is our first equation. Our second equation is positive 4x plus 4y is equals to negative 24. Okay, so this type of equations, we basically are going to be looking for a zero pair to cancel out one of the variables. Okay, so we're going to add these equations, and as you're adding, you keep in mind that you're looking for zero pairs. Okay, so here I'm looking at the x's and the y's, and I can see that the x's, negative 4x and 4x, are going to make my zero pair. Okay, that means that they're gone. I don't need to worry about those anymore. So I have, when I combine negative 2y plus 8y, I get 6y is equal to negative 12 plus negative 24. I get negative 36. And you can always check this on Desmos. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so you have a negative 12 plus a negative 24, negative 36. So you should check your answer, especially if it has a negative numbers. Okay, so with that being said, I need to let y by itself. So that means I'm going to divide both sides by 6. Okay, 6 divided by 6 gives me 1. And I don't need to worry about writing that anymore. So I'm just going to write y is equals to negative 36 divided by 6. That is negative 6. Okay, so I already have that part of my solution. Remember, the solution requires x and a y. I have the y, which is negative 6. Now I need to look for my y. So I'm going to find y. Oh my gosh, what happened there? I'm going to find my y value. Okay, so I could use either of the two equations. On this case, I'm going to use equation number 2. And equation 2 is 4x plus 8y is equals to negative 24. Now, instead of y, I'm going to put negative 6. I'm going to put 4x plus 8 y is equals to negative 24. Oh, why did I put y? I don't know. I'm going to put a negative 26, negative 6, and I wrote y. Alright, so that gives me 4x. 8 times negative 6 gives me negative 48. Now at this point, I need to have x by itself. So I'm going to add 48 to both sides. Okay, so this again is a zero pair, negative 48 and positive 48. So I'm left with 4x is equals to 24. Once you check that on decimals, that's what you should get. Then my next step, I need to divide both sides by 4. That looks like I'm adding, which I'm not. Okay, so 4 divided by 4, that's a 1, and I don't need to write it anymore, so I have x is equal to 6. So my solution to this system of equations is 6 comma negative 6. Let's move on to example number 2. And example number 2, now I have negative 4x plus 9y is equals to 9 as my first equation. Then for my second equation, I have 3x minus 9y is equals to negative 18. Okay, so those are my two equations for this example. Now, I'm going to add the two equations. Okay, so I'm going to say that equation, negative 4x plus 9y is equals to 9, plus the equation below. Okay, so now we're going to again look for which of the two, the x's or the y's, are going to cancel out because of the zero pairs. So if I'm looking at the x's, I have negative 4 and positive 3. Those are different numbers, so those cannot be the zero pairs. But if I look at the y's, I have plus 9y and negative 9y. Okay, so those two meet the requirement. I have the same number and opposite signs. One's positive, one's negative. Okay, so that means that these two are my zero pairs and they're gonna go away. Okay, that goes away. So when I add, I have negative 4x plus 3. So I'm gonna go here to my decimals and just double check that. Negative 4 plus 3, that gives me a negative 1. Okay, so I go back to my document and I say negative 1x. That goes away, so I don't write it anymore. It's equal to, I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's equal to 9 plus negative 18. So again, you can go to decimals and say 9 plus negative 18. That gives me negative 9. Okay, so negative 9. Now, I want to solve for x. So I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 1. Oh, wow. Negative 1. So that gives me, again, those two go away. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is just 1, and I don't need to write it since it's positive. X is equal to negative 9 divided by negative 1. So just to double check, I recommend that you guys always go to decimals and do that. So you have negative 9 divided by a negative 1. It's a positive 9. Okay, always just, even if you think you know the answer, double check, especially if it involves negative numbers. Okay, so that's a positive 9. Okay, so yeah, I have the first part of my solution, x equals 9. I just need to find the y portion of it. So find y. Okay, so to find y, again, I need to choose one of the two equations, either the first one or the second one, and I plug in the value of x. So we did the first equation, the second equation on the first example. So on the second one, let's switch it up and do the first equation. So negative 4x plus 9y is equal to 9. Okay, and again, that's just the equation that I copied down so that I know which one I'm using. Okay, so I have negative 4, and instead of x, I'm going to type the value of x, which is 9. So times 9 plus 9y is equal to 9. Okay, so negative 4 multiplied by 9. Again, you can always double check on decimals, and that gives you negative 36 plus 9y is equal to 9. Okay, so at this point, I need to have y by itself. Okay, that means I need to get rid of the 36 and I need to get rid of the 9. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add 36 to both sides. This negative 36 and positive 36 is considered a zero pair, so I don't need it anymore. My zero pair, so it goes away. I'm left with 9y is equal to 45. Okay? And then I still don't have y by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 9. The 9 divided by 9, it's just 1. And since it's positive 1, I don't need to write it. I just write y. It's equal to 49 divided by 9. That's 5. That means that my solution is the value of x, which is 9, and the value of y, which is 5. Okay, and that is the solution for the second problem, second example. And then example number 3, I have 2x plus 14y is equals to negative 28 for my first equation, and negative 4x minus 14y is equal to 28 for my second equation. Okay, so again, I'm going to add the two equations. So I put a plus sign since I'm adding them. And I look at my variables, 2x and negative 4x. Different numbers, so they're not zero pairs. Look at the y's, plus 14y minus 14y. So these are my zero pairs, and I don't need them. So that's a zero pair, so they go away. They make a 0. So when I add them, negative 2x minus 4x, that gives me negative 2x is equal to, that's gone. So negative 28 plus 28, again, that's a zero pair. So I have two zero pairs in this problem. And since I have, in this case, I can't have nothing on this side, so I'm just going to write the 0. Okay? Because I don't want to leave it blank. So I just put the 0 in there. Now, I don't have x by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And that gives me, so negative 2 and negative 2, that's a 1. X is equal to 0. Okay, so that's my first part. Now I'm going to find the missing variable, which is y. Okay, I need to find the value of y. I'm going to use the first equation. So I have the first equation is 2x plus 14y is equals to negative 28. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 0 for x, so 2 parentheses 0 plus 14y is equals to negative 28. 2 times 0, it's 0. So I'm going to put it in there just to show you that it means nothing. plus 14y is equals to negative 28. 0 plus 14y, well, we're not adding anything, so it's just 14y is equals to negative 28. Now, I don't have y by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 14. The 14 divided by 14 is a 1, so I don't need to write it since it's positive. I'm just going to put y is equals to negative 28 divided by 14. If you put it on decimals, you should get a 2. So my solution in x comma y should be x equals 0, y equals negative 2.